Hey guys.
Hi.
My name's Ben Chin. I just want to say, I just called Shane to congratulate him on winning and wish him all the best. And more to the point, I just want to say how honored and humbled I am by all of you. This was a grueling battle, and I could not be prouder of how all of us have conducted ourselves and what we've built together, what we've stood for. When you think about why all of us are here today doing what we're doing, it's not for me. It's not because any of us enjoy getting voters out in freezing cold rain for hours and hours at a time. It's because we want to see some concrete shifts in terms of how the world operates. Yeah. And some of the shifts that I have seen just over the course of us working together, I'll tell you one story. Just last night, one of the last doors that I knocked on was a woman who works at a mental health agency, and she is going to convince her boss to start providing substance use disorder services for folks who are struggling with the opioid epidemic. I know that there is one of the slumlords, Rick Lockwood, who we talked about. We did our very first press conference outside of one of his buildings. He's down to almost no property left in Lewiston because of this public spotlight that we've And perhaps most encouragingly, there have been stories about the paper, and I got to see it firsthand at the polls today. If we want to talk about a vision of what an integrated community looks like, there is nothing that just gives me more hope for the world than seeing all the new citizens who have come to the U.S. and have found safety and a new life here and have made the commitment to this country and our community by becoming American citizens and voting today. And it is historic. And I want to keep it real. I don't want to sugarcoat any of this. I'm sure that folks are going to feel disappointment. I know I did, and I do. And I had some strange conversations today, and the campaign sort of took a little bit of a strange turn in the last week or so. And I would be remiss if we didn't just speak directly to some of that. I had the very bizarre experience of several people coming up to me today proudly telling me they were racists and voting for someone else as a result of that. I had a guy say that he was looking forward to knocking my teeth in. We've heard all sorts of stories at doors that, just to share one other anecdote, and I share this now because I think it's just good to have this stuff out in the open. I was talking to a guy the other day who said, have you opened up a Lewiston High School yearbook and seen how many people are on welfare there? And I said, how do you know from a yearbook that so many people are on welfare? He said, well, you see all these black faces. Those are all the folks that are on welfare. And that is racist. And so if people are wondering what racism is, that's a pretty good example of that. And so, those shifts I talked about the opioid epidemic, about immigrant integration, about housing, those actually aren't the most important shifts that I've seen. And this last shift that I want to talk about is the one that I'm most proud about, and I think speaks directly to this nonsense that we've seen creep up. And to use a metaphor, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Back to the Future, but there is this point at which the time machine starts to run on different kinds of fuel. It starts off running on just normal gasoline, but then in the future they get Mr. Fusion, and you can put all sorts of garbage in the front of it, like banana peels and all these other things. And what that time machine actually does magically is turn all of that garbage into something amazing. And when I was at the polls today, what's really going to stay with me is the love that I felt from all of you and from literally thousands of people in this city. And that's what we're building together. And this doesn't come and go in terms of election cycles. This is permanent. This is here to stay. I had 3 people give me Christmas cards today. There were people who I was knocking on their door and they just burst out their door and gave me hugs. And I know that if you're out there doing this kind of work and we're talking to voters today, I know you had similar experiences. And that's real. The main thing that we are shifting that I feel in myself and I see in all of you is we are growing our capacity as a community to take in whatever all this garbage is, all these insults, all these lies, all this nonsense, and we are going to turn it into something beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I wish this could be the night where we cross that magic 50% line. And I'm sure people are going to talk about in the coming days that yes, if everybody who had just voted for us in the general election had been able to come today, if there wasn't a snowstorm, if there had been more polling locations, if there hadn't been a runoff in the middle of December, we would have won. You know, we got more than 4,000 votes initially. And there's no question this is a harder time to turn people out. But I don't want to focus on that necessarily, because circumstances are always going to be favoring or not favoring us in all these different ways. And the thing that remains fixed, the thing that we have going forward, is the love in this community that all of us have built together. And so the last thing, so two last things I'll ask you. One is, to get this out of the way, if you're not doing anything at noon tomorrow, we could really use some help taking down some signs. We're going to meet up at the MP office, 145 Lisbon Street. We'd love your help there. But the second thing is, think about one thing that you can do tonight to push that love a little forward. Take the negativity that you've been feeling, whether it's a weird comment that somebody had or just a feeling of disappointment, and decide what you're going to do tonight with that that's positive. That's going to make sure that every single time we go out and fight these fights together, we're just that much stronger. Because love is stronger than nonsense. It is stronger than lies. And even if we don't do this today, we are going to do it together. And it's going to be because of all of us, and I'm happy to just be a private citizen. So that's no skin off my back. Someday you guys will get a candidate that'll get you over the 50% line. But I think going forward, that's just my one ask for all of you, is just take whatever disappointment that you have right now and decide to make something beautiful with it. Because if we just keep doing that, there's no question, there's no telling what we'll be able to do together. So thank you guys so much.